You did it again. Oh, there we go. Got something else happening.
There. It didn't stop. Hi.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of funky.
I know. It's like that. Your abrupt endings are like being slapped outside in this weather in the cold. It's like a cold slap in the face on Monday morning.
Exactly. We needed some funk.
Slide into Monday.
Exactly. We got some funk going on.
I
So
can't hear it though.
You can't hear it?
Funking and all I hear is this.
Oh no.
I know. You got to
Can
put
you all not hear it?
right up by your microphone or something.
Hi, welcome everyone. Hi, Matt. Yes, I look so cold. Why am I cold, Bob? Why are we cold?
Well, we're cold because we woke up to like -7 outside.
It's supposed to feel like -30.
Exactly.
-30. I don't like this weather.
I'm sort of having a deja vu moment because for those of you that are aware of my history, I am a cheesehead from Wisconsin. So this is more cheesehead Wisconsin weather than it is Kansas City weather. So I'm like going, wait a minute, I'm back, you know.
It is cold. Even I have my bowl of coffee. Oh, everybody, mugs up. I got my bowl.
I guess maybe I'm just old, but you know, it's, you know, I'll tell the story like old people do. In this weather, our mothers just wrapped us up, put a scarf around us, and we walked to school. You know,
we were saran wrapped.
Exactly. I mean, this, and I don't know, maybe I'm a wuss the older I got, but I'm like my mom. I mean, we were in grade school. And
yep.
You know, we had to walk maybe a mile and a half. And it was like, that was just what you did.
Yeah. They're like, get out. Get out of this house. We do not want you here on a snow day.
7 and it's a blizzard's outside. That's no excuse not to go to school.
Exactly. Did you use the Wonder Bread bags to put over your jeans and stuff, and like you brought it up all the way and you wrapped rubber bands around it? Did you do that? You did?
No, we never did that one, but I had friends that did, you know.
So hi, Matt. Hi, Doug. We have two different.
Because it's just like, you know, we're in an age now where every mothers are protecting their kids, and you can't go outside. And
I know. We were just sent. We were like, bye.
Out the door.
They didn't even care if we had Wonder Bread. I mean, we had to come up with ourselves. We're like, we don't want to have wet jeans when we get to school. And hi, Doug. Thanks for joining us. Doug Wing. Do you know who he is?
No.
He's got a ladder company. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. And I'm sorry, Doug. I know the name of your company. I'm sorry. Put it in the comments. Big Ladder, Big Little Ladder, something like that. Sorry about that. He's got a cool. And you just moved, right? It's in Arizona. He's in 65-degree weather. Yes. Nice.
I know. I take 65-degree weather right now. It's like.
Yeah, Matt did with the bread bags. And then you were embarrassed.
Some of that up here. Can you like package it for us?
Yes. Send it. Little Giant. Yes. Little Giant Ladders Company. So Matt, you did so you know, I had to get the matching Wonder Bread.
Matching Wonder Bread.
You know.
Well, if we're gonna start reminiscing, then there's Hostess Twinkies. You got Wonder Bread and Hostess Twinkies.
I mean,
if you go back and look at the lunches we ate. I mean,
I grew
up a health person.
No, we sure didn't. Little Giant Ladder Company. You got to check that out. Thanks, Doug. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Kathy. Wow, we have all new viewers this morning. I'm so excited. But I like our, you know, loyal Heather. Hello, Heather. Good morning.
Yeah.
And Kathy, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. I know. Look at that. It's cold. So are you cold in your house? Like, I'm just curious.
Am I?
Uh-huh.
Well, actually, I have one room in my house, and it just is. Actually, I'm in an apartment. An apartment, but unfortunately, it's my bedroom. And the
Yeah.
reason it is because what I live in is an old school built in the 1927
Oh
that
my goodness.
completely remodeled into these really hip and trendy apartments. Well,
Mm-hmm.
it has the large windows.
Oh
You know
yes.
what I mean? Like
I have
8 foot
those.
tall windows.
Yeah.
Well, my
Yeah.
whole one wall is those kind of windows. So it's like always in the wintertime, a good 6 or 7 degrees cooler.
Well, mine is too. I've got those huge windows with the little thing that goes over the top. But hey, good morning, AJ. Oh wow,
It
new.
sounds a little bit rough this morning. It's because
Yeah.
I kind of was sleeping in the cold.
Oh, I hear that. Yeah. Hi, Dr. B. How you doing? Good morning. Where's your diamond? Where is your diamond? I don't know. Are you on my private page or are you on Awakenings Within? Anyway, I'm going to take this off because I'm actually not that cold in my house.
Oh, so now you're starting to sweat.
So, I'm like, well, I'm a woman of certain age.
I see.
Good morning, all.
Topic right there.
A woman of a certain age.
Of a certain
As
age.
she was a woman of a certain age.
It's like, whoo. I know I can always tell those women because they're outside in this weather, not bundled. Like, I'm hot.
Oh, hey, Tom. Hi. Wow, I'm getting a lot of some of these people are from this group that I'm on, the Grow Live Academy with Ken Walls.
Mhm.
And thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. I really do. Well, Dr. B, I don't know why you're not a top fan. I'll find your diamond. I'll get you a diamond
He
back.
hasn't been around in a while. He's been at AWOL, so he can't.
Oh,
complain, you know what I mean?
so Bob's calling you out, Dr. B. He's calling you out.
Exactly.
So, okay, mugs up, everyone. What are you drinking? I'm drinking coffee, straight coffee.
You gotta
Well, with
drink
creamer. I'm a bowl of coffee. What else are you drinking? So. So where are our Bib? He called you Bib. He didn't call you Bob. He just called you Bib.
I sometimes wonder if the doctor is legit because he can't really spell very well.
Oh my goodness! Oh, he is gonna get you.
I know.
Yes, he is. I don't have a diamond either. What, Heather? Everybody lost their diamonds over the weekend. You know what? It was so cold. Your diamonds just disappeared.
That's what happened. You haven't been showing us the love, actually.
He's drinking.
Oh,
Woo. What is that?
That's disgusting. Oh, that's an African drink.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well,
and then they eat that with caterpillars. So
they drink that and then eat it with caterpillars.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I don't like the insect kind of things.
High in protein, not really good to look at.
So I'm listening to the news this morning, and they're talking about the weather, and then they quickly follow up by saying that the governor wants us to conserve energy with our natural gas because the prices are going up. And I'm like, now why would they do the timing of it? Just didn't make sense to me. Like, today is like one of the coldest days ever in Kansas this season. Why would you follow it up with and conserve natural gas because the prices are going up?
Right.
How are we going to conserve it when we're freezing?
Yeah.
I don't get it. Why do they do that? They give you like instant guilt. Like, here, be warm, but no, don't.
The timing is a bit off there.
Well, I didn't get it. I was like, are they trying to make us feel bad for using gas today?
Bumper have gone up. Have you noticed that?
Oh my gosh, yes.
I was out the other day filling up my truck and I was like, what? But then again, it was sort of predicted when
yes.
Unfortunately,
we won't go there, but we know.
But I'm just saying one of the interesting dynamics of gas prices is that people think it has to do with supply and demand, and in reality, it has to do with speculators. And so events happen and then there's a
Yes.
chain reaction. So just the news of canceling Keystone sets a whole series of things in motion across the world. I mean, it's
Yes.
funny. People don't realize the cause and effect. So it's like a domino effect.
Yes.
And now
It
2 weeks
causes the
later, here we
stocks.
are.
Yes.
Even though nothing's actually really
It
changed.
hasn't happened yet.
The supply hasn't changed at all.
I
But now
know.
the prices have gone way up, you know?
Hey, Mikey, it's the birthday boy.
Yeah.
Did we have a good birthday, Michael? It's a record today, -8. Last was -6 in 1936. I'm so glad
I think we should
we're
turn
beating records.
Michael
Hey,
into
good morning,
our
Christina.
honorary Monday morning Awakenings Within weatherman. He's given
Yeah.
us updates and
All right. I know. Kathy did too. So thank you. Thank you, Christina, for joining us. Thank you guys all for joining us today. So
is
what's
the reason
on our
they're joining
mind?
us because they can't go outside and they're stuck
I
with us?
know. I know. Well, I love it.
Maybe we should pray
Come
for
join us.
more cold days.
What are you drinking? Mugs up. Let's have something to drink. Mine is
Okay.
coffee. I'm in a happy mood today. Can you tell?
You are.
I am. I don't know why. Oh, but you know,
Oh, Michael.
what did he say now? Just the normal. What did he say now? Oh no, I haven't gotten to it yet. You were about to say it right. Yes, we did have one. Thanks, Bob. Tried cuddling because of cold. What? Gosh. Italian coffee. Yes, I'm drinking. You know, there's a brand, and yeah, maybe I'll get a sponsor out of it. Cameron Coffee. I love their coffee. It is not acidic like a lot of the cheaper type of coffees are acidic, and you know the big S one. We won't say which one.
I see.
It's real bitter. You know, I don't know. I like this Cameron breakfast blend. So anyway, what are you drinking? Water?
Appropriate this blend of coffee from?
Huh?
Where do you appropriate this blend of coffee from? Where do you buy it?
It's in all of the different local grocery stores.
Oh, local grocery stores. Oh.
Local grocery stores. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know if you were like a coffee snob. And
I am kind of. I used to. Okay. So
company that you
Yes.
know of that sends
Well-
it to you in the mail, you know, like coffee snobs.
well, okay. So I used to have Javalia or Givalia, whatever. I did that one for a little while. And then I worked at First Colony Coffee House in Virginia, and it was First Colony Tea and Coffee. They made it there downtown Norfolk, Virginia. And I loved their coffee. I was a server there, and I loved being a waitress. Isn't that funny? It was like one of my favorite jobs.
Oh,
Matt
but
Haas,
that's
hi
because you're
Matt.
a people
Okay.
person and you get to interact with people.
Yes. Yes, I loved it. Are you
Yeah.
happy because tacos exist? That's why he's always happy about tacos.
You were in
Oh
the
my
youth
goodness,
group.
Larry, hi. You're usually our first one, and Matt beat you today. I hate to say that. Matt beat you to the punch today. Yeah. Matt Haas, all we need for life, the Bible and tacos. The Bible and tacos.
I'm telling you.
Well, then we should have a Tuesday night Bible study with
Tuesday
tacos. I think that's a great idea. You know, I think that would work out fine.
Mike and I were on a Bible study yesterday, and we were talking about the fact we need to have a virtual meal.
You didn't invite me.
Well, you were asleep.
I was asleep. Why was I asleep?
It was Sunday morning, and you were snoring. We could hear you all the way.
Oh, you could you? Day off
You didn't want
today.
to wake up the
Okay.
bear.
I agree. Bible and tacos. Okay, so Heather agrees. So we need to get that Bible and taco thing going. So
Okay.
somebody
Well, let's see.
organize that.
So Tuesday tacos, it's Thursday tacos, you see.
Oh no.
But the problem is you'd have to invite everybody into the show. You know what I mean? We'd have to do it where we're all
We'll have a
on
Zoom.
together.
We'll have a Zoom Bible study. Everybody has to make their own Bible or tacos.
But I mean,
Their own Bible. Their own
BY, it was a BYO Taco Thursday. Bring your own taco.
There you go. Sandy,
Yeah.
we will invite you. You'd love it. if it's at 5 a.m, I wouldn't love it. So if I'm snoring at 5, if it's 5 a.m, I ain't doing it. So what? Larry's taking a day off. I know Larry took a day off. I can't believe it.
Well, if there's a day to take off, today is the day.
Yeah. You see, can you hear my business
You
phone?
don't even want to get out of your jammies.
My business phone is ringing already because fires still happen during the Arctic cold, believe it or not. That's the company I'm in. So what exciting things are going on with all of you? And how about you, Bob? Anything new and exciting? When I say exciting, I don't mean like earth-shattering exciting.
My life unexciting.
Okay. Nice, Heather. Hell's really freezing over.
Less. How's that? Less drama.
No, that is good.
Exactly.
That's exciting.
I'm qualifying my less exciting by meaning actually less drama.
Listen, Christina, as for me in my house, we will serve tacos. We have some taco fans here, man. You guys are cracking me up.
Something here. We have found a commonality.
Tacos.
Right?
Well, who doesn't love a taco? Except for the way you make your taco.
No.
People are weird. Like,
yeah.
I have to make it a certain way. I'm weird.
Maybe
like
you're weird.
Well, hey. I don't like my stuff to
normal and you're weird.
I don't like my food to touch normally. Like food can't touch. So, but you know, the taco is a common denominator. Like it's supposed to touch. So if a food is supposed to, it will, you know. Okay, I was asked to write a quarterly column. Huh?
Are you OCD?
No. I wish I were more OCD.
I was the same way. I didn't like my food to touch.
Oh, I can't stand it.
You know, I still don't understand. So, you know, in our house, you know, if we, you know how moms are. It's like mom would make something and we didn't like it. You know,
you don't eat.
Sitting there and mom would come over and knowing that I didn't like my food touch, take a fork and go.
Oh no, she didn't.
And I'll eat it. And if I didn't eat it, there it was for breakfast.
Oh my gosh, no.
Some of us, you know, we learned to just not complain and be grateful.
Yeah. So Christina, congratulations. She's doing a quarterly column about sleep. She talks about sleep on her. She has a show about sleep, and a lot of us are sleep deprived and probably don't know it, and probably don't have a regular pattern. And she can help you. So go check her out. Check her page out. Sleep for the Soul.
There you go.
So yeah, I love Jesus and tacos. All right, you guys have real problems. What's our problem?
We don't like.
What's my problem? Sorry, I didn't show up at your birthday deal.
Yeah.
So, yeah, my food couldn't touch, and I ate counterclockwise. Glad I grew counterclockwise. Oh no. Now, see,
there's some people they'll eat, like, you know, if you've got like a meat and maybe potatoes and corn, they eat all your corn, then you eat all your meat, and then eat all your meat, but you can't eat, you know.
Well, right. My one of my sisters, she'll eat one thing at a time. She can't eat all three, but she'll eat all the one and then she'll go to the next. And then me, I can switch it around, but it can't touch. Because if it touches, it contaminates.
Strange creatures, you know what I mean? Because we're filled with paradoxes. So I too was that kid who didn't like his food to touch. And at the same time, like one of my, you know, my favorite foods are chili or tacos, or not tacos, stews, you know, where you put everything in a single bowl.
Well,
like, okay, go figure that one out.
If it was supposed to,
stick it all in a bowl together.
But there's rules to that, Bob. There's rules. It's unspoken rules. But if it's cooked in one pot, it's okay for it to touch. But if it's not, and it's separate pots, no. And so, hey, Tammy, I don't know what Tammy he's saying hey to, but hi, Tammy.
Thursday, one of these nights, and you're going to like put everybody on, and then we can all show how we make our tacos. And so we'll manifest diversity and harmony because we all have the same food type
Tacos.
We have all
Tacos.
these different ways.
See, that's it. We just do harmony and peace throughout the world with tacos.
Well, I'm a cheesehead. Remember that. So in my world of tacos, lots of sour cream on my taco.
Oh no, that I
You
can
know,
put a dab.
this is the God honest truth. I didn't move to the southern, well, to Missouri. I don't know if you, I guess you can call that the beginning of the South, until I was in my 20s. That's the first time in my life I ever tasted Mexican food or anything related to Mexican food. Everything up north is Swiss or German. You know what I mean?
Oh, true. So I like
food is just not on the agenda.
I like that. Thanks, Bob. Taco cat spelled backwards is still taco cat. I didn't know that. I know that now. Hey, that's our thing for the day. Taco cat spelled backwards is still taco cat. Indeed. I love it. Food touching Sandy. Yeah, I'm not touching. They're not touching. Jesus follower, taco lover, nap taker. Wow, she's got a long title. I make my tacos from the nearest. I make my tacos from the nearest Mexican place. Yeah, I mean, who doesn't like a taco? Okay, Matt, thank you for bringing tacos up. Hot green vegetables shall never touch my steak. Yeah, no, yeah. Why would that happen? Ooh. Hope there's no veggie. Want to talk about Jesus? Oh, that's cute. Let us pray. Oh, that's cute, Christina. I like that. Okay, so now it's obviously decided. We're having Taco Tuesday with a Bible study. There we go.
Oh, it's got to be Taco Thursday because we don't have anything on Tuesday.
Well,
they have Taco Thursday.
We can do a separate thing.
Oh, okay.
Taco Tuesday, Thursday. Yeah. Well, we could have Taco Thursday, I guess. That's breaking rules, though. I think that's like an unspoken.
Right.
But now we all know why I've decided to move to Florida, right? Look outside. That's all you got to do. I'm like, I can't handle this anymore. I lived in Florida before, so that's why I would like to move back. So what's your favorite place to live, Bob? Here? Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, the place that, I love Colorado.
Oh, that's right. You're right. It's right there to the side of you somewhere.
So I don't mind the cold. I mean, I suppose as I get older and a little bit more immobilized, it might become an issue, but I'm still at that phase of life where I like hiking and the majesty of white snow-capped mountains.
Oh, that sounds cold.
You like flat.
No, I love hiking. Water, no, I love hiking in Tennessee where it's warm.
Oh, where it's warm. Well, I have cousins in Tennessee, and they were telling me it's cold there right now.
It is at this time. But when I go, it's usually in August. I go for a fire conference, so I always go at the same time of the year, and it's really, really super nice because it's about 10 degrees difference in the Smokies, and they're little mountains.
You like Gatlinburg?
Huh?
Gatlinburg?
Yeah, Gatlinburg. Exactly. Exactly. So yeah, tomorrow's Fat Tuesday. Ooh. Mardi Gras. Yeah. I've never been to Mardi Gras. No. I knew it's not my thing. When you're like, a friend of mine, she loves going to Mardi Gras. We always had Mardi Gras parties, just with the silly cake, the king cake with the baby in it. If you got the baby, you had to buy the cake the next time. So what?
I'm just laughing at Michael's comments. Sorry, I'm ahead.
Yeah, Sandy's going to be I'm going to be in your neighborhood. Yep, that's right, Christina. I'd love hiking. Let's go. I'll see you at the top in the ski lift. Oh my goodness gracious.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? I'm scared of the ski lift.
Oh, are you?
Yes. I won't go skiing because of it yet. I mean, I haven't gotten anybody to challenge me to do it. Like, I don't know. I'd have to be challenged.
The tram in Albuquerque?
No.
Yeah, I did that once, and I'm like you. I'm not a real fan of heights.
No, I'm not.
You're starting, like want to get near the wind. Well, anyways, this tram, you take it from the city up to this mountain, right? And so you're hanging there. I mean, you're dangling on these cables, right? And you're like, okay, I can get to that mountain, right? And so you go all the way up, and then you get to the mountain, and you go over, and all of a sudden you realize that's just like the first third of it. And there's like this giant valley, and this cable stretches like forever, and you're like, oh my God, I gotta. And you're just like hanging on, until you get to the next higher mountain. But,
No way.
It's just my stomach just dropped out when we got like, I'm like, okay, I can make it. Oh no.
So what kind of thing are you in? What is it?
Yeah, one of those, cable cars.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
dangerous. They have one in Albuquerque that you can
Like a
go on.
gondola?
Yeah.
You mean the gondola?
Yeah, they hang, I'm talking about the cable car.
I can't do. Yeah, I'm not allowed to go on those. My mom said.
Okay.
No, seriously, a long time ago in the 70s, there was a Six Flags over Mid-America in St. Louis. There was an accident, and it was on one of those, and it was my mom's boss's whole family.
Oh my gosh.
So I promised her, she's passed away, rest in peace. But she said I can't go on one of those ever. And you know it's funny, I'm 50 and I still can't go on one because she said so.
I see.
And she, I mean there was a whole reason behind it, but I won't tell the details because it's kind of depressing. So anyway, so hey Bob, thanks for joining us today. Yeah.
You're welcome.
No, the other Bob, and the other Christina. Christina, thanks for joining us. Yeah, thank you. And let's see, Michael Jones hikes like me. I'll take the ski lift. Yeah, I won't even get on the ski lift. And got to go do some Dream Factory. Okay. He'll have to tell us what that is. I saw a gondola wire cut by jets in Italy and it fell. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Michael. Yeah, no. See, that
happened a few years ago. I remember that. That was tragic.
Well, and that's what happened in Six Flags. It went off the track or something, and it was little kid. I mean, it was horrible. Yeah. So my mom was just like, you're not to ever go on those ever. And I mean it. And I was like,
on solid ground.
Yeah. Yeah. She said, don't you dare when you go to a amusement park. So I'd go to Busch Gardens in Virginia.
Yeah.
And my friends that are with me go, oh, we'll just get on the Sky Tram. And I'm like, I can't. I'm not allowed. And they're like, why? I said, my mom said. They're like, your mom? And I'm like, yeah, she's passed away, but it still stands that I'm not allowed. So I don't. And I need the exercise anyway. How about that? No. But the ski lift is kind of similar, isn't it? So maybe I shouldn't even get on one of those. Well, hey, there's my excuse.
Ski lift it depends on what kind of ski lift you're on, but typically you're sitting down and you can see, up and see the what, right? When you're usually with a gondola or tram, everything's above you. You can't see anything. Yeah. And so you're just like hanging there, and it's just that odd feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm so vulnerable.
Yes. Hi, Brandy. It brings up the point. Let's talk about this because we haven't talked about anything serious yet, and it's like a half an hour in the show. What are we going to do? Anyway,
Monday, we don't get too serious. You told me that Monday I'm supposed to say
that's never been true ever in the time that we've done this together.
Well, that's my problem. I always tend to go, no.
Yes, you do. And we're like, oh, pull it out.
That one.
So how do you know the difference between being fearful and like risk taking, I guess you would say, and intuition that you shouldn't do it? How do you know the difference? How can you tell the difference?
Well, I just think that's something you got to learn over time.
So say your fear.
For me, I can tell in my own spirit by the feeling. Like I've learned the two feelings. I know what fear is, and I know what discernment is, and they have different dynamics in my soul, I should say.
Okay.
Well,
yeah. I mean, I'm just curious if you I mean, I've been very fearful before in just taking a plane. Like when I was a first, I wasn't on planes. I didn't fly very much. And so one time I got on the plane in St. Louis going back home to Florida, actually. And I just had this, like, I had a panic attack on the plane, and I'd never, I didn't think I was fearful. I didn't think I was scared. And what was really, really cool about that at that time is, like, I didn't know the person sitting next to me, right? So I didn't say anything to them, and I was white knuckling it on my seat, kind of.
Mm.
And I heard a really faint voice just say Psalm 91. And of course, at the time, I was kind of a baby Christian, so I didn't really know, what Psalm 91 was, to be honest. And so then, and of course, I didn't have a Bible with me, so I was like, okay, God, well, I guess that means I'm going to live because I have to go look it up. So I was like, well, thank God for that, and he gave me the specific one where, as the angels will lift you up and your foot will not strike a stone. So that was the verse that he actually gave me specifically. And that was a really cool spiritual moment for me. A really turning point, because I thought, well, if he gives me a scripture, I can't look it up. I'm obviously going to live, and he's talking to me. So that means I'm going to live. I mean, like, I had all kinds of things. And when I landed, I was just so excited to go run to see what he had to say to me, and when it was, the angels will lift you up and your foot will not strike a stone. I was like, wow, that was amazing. And so, I took that forward with anytime I fly, I'm like, okay, God, pray Psalm 91 over it. And, of, and trying to check in those feelings. But, like, I'm not one that will jump on the roller coasters. I'm not one to, like, just jump on a roller coaster. I mean, because sometimes I do feel like I'm just putting myself in a place that maybe I shouldn't, like, should I do this? Risk taking, but when I was over in Wales, I'm so scared of heights. Let's see, what did he say? I thought he said something else. Sorry. I was scared of heights, and I was over in Cardiff, and we were at the Cardiff Castle, and it's one of those staircases that's like a lighthouse, and they're made of stones. Mm-hmm. And I looked up, and I was like, oh God, and I was quite overweight at the time too. And so I was having some walking issues at the time and knee issues. But I said, you know what? When am I going to come back to Cardiff, Wales? I'm not going to be able to come up here to the top of the castle unless I do this. So I really had to stand there and just talk to myself and go, I can do this. Like, this is a challenge. I didn't feel that discernment of I shouldn't do this because it's scary and it's going to harm me. I really had that push of, this is a challenge and you need to do it. So I got up there, I hoisted myself to the top, and then I looked over Cardiff, the city of Cardiff in Wales, and it was just so beautiful. And I was just like, I would have missed out on that had I not pushed myself. I would have missed out. So, sometimes you just got to take those fears and go, okay, that's it. And what was so funny is that I'd already flown across the pond, which I was already scared of flying, like I said, but during that flight, I wasn't scared at all. So during that trip, I kind of really, overcame lots of different fears. So, it really just is here, you psych yourself out sometimes. You just, like, you got to make sure that it's a true, it's that intuition versus fear, like, you should be fearful because it's dangerous to you, or, you just need to be challenged and pushed to do something that's out of your comfort zone. So what do you think about that?
Well, no, I think you're right. I mean, there's, one of the things that is a reality that always gets brought to the forefront when we go to funerals is the fact that there's one guarantee in life, and that's that we're all going to die.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah,
one of the things that I find interesting about our modern culture versus the ancients is because of the fact in the ancient world, 1 out of every 2 children didn't even make it to the age of 5.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't, archaeologists will tell you that like there's whole civilizations like in Egypt where people barely lived to 30. Like your life was over,
Yeah.
right? So death was a constant in everybody's mind.
Yeah.
Because of technology, we've extended the lifespan, to nearly 70 now, I think.
Wow.
And we don't talk about death. It's like, you know what I mean? It's not a reality that any of us like it's like this forbidden subject. Like somehow it's taboo to talk about dying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's been interesting to me. I mean, it's a cultural phenomena that I'm fascinated by because
we're kind of we've been conditioned to be protected against it in a way.
Well, we have a whole industry that cleans everything up, and then we show up, and then there's like this ceremony, and we all get through it for an hour, and then we go on with our lives.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's been interesting, the psychology behind all that, where, even as you go through, the biblical letters of Paul or whatever, you can see it there in that culture. It's like people, death, it's life and death. Those are two, right? And so,
yes,
for people of faith, right, death is not a fearful thing.
Right. Because it's not the end.
Fear in dying because
one is the next level.
Aware that their body, their soul, and their spirit, and the essence of who we are as people continues on. In other words, our spirit doesn't die, our body dies.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's a matter of perspective. It's like stepping back for a little bit and going, okay, wait a minute. Who am I? Am I this body?
Right.
Or am I this person who cares and loves and this spiritual person? And the reason why that's so important is you can see even in the Pauline letters where he goes, well, to live, to die is Christ. It's like, well, if I die, I'm with God.
Yeah.
I want to stay because of you, right? And so the line between life and death in the ancient world was just very small. Here we have this huge gap. So the reason I bring that up is because once you reconcile that, the fear goes away. Like, what are you afraid of?
Yeah.
So
well, but it's between foolishness and wisdom, though. Don't put yourself in. I mean, don't go, pet the tiger.
Right.
Stupid.
I'm talking about fear.
Yeah, the fear.
How to deal with the fear of death, because I mean, if you want to really mess with yourself, it's like,
and people do.
Fear is so irrational, right? And the reason I say that is because we're talking about a situation where I'm not going to do this because if I do make this decision, something bad's going to happen to me. Well, the reality of it is every day of our lives, we live in a constant situation where something bad can happen to us that isn't our choice.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, if you really want to mess with your head, I mean, we're living in it right now with COVID. I mean, there's all kinds of things. I mean, nature itself, right? So it's not all, it's do I choose, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To live as a slave of fear?
Right. That's right.
I could tell you 1,000 things that you can be afraid of.
Exactly. Right? Well, I mean, like what happened, and I think about our conditions of weather, Yesterday I got on the road, because I have another job and so I got on the road to do that, but was wise enough to say, hey, listen, can I cut this short and go home before dark just in case, and it's just having wisdom to figure out, what risks you're going to take, and because, these driving conditions are very unpredictable, as what happened, that tragedy in Fort Worth last week. It's kind of like, you just don't know. And so being wise and weighing all the options is your best bet,
Right.
and I get mad at drivers.
You could put yourself into a situation to where, it's like people that are germaphobes.
Oh yeah.
They are aware of the fact there's a whole micro world out there that can kill you. And they're so enslaved to the fear of that they live their lives in constant fear, right?
But that's what happened in the beginning of COVID. Yes.
Right.
So, I mean, even those of us, I'm kind of a germaphobe a little bit, but not to the point. I'm a germaphobe as far as like, I don't want your germs. But
there's 1,000 things every day that we could be scared of in reality.
Absolutely.
One of the things that happens quite frequently is we see nature exert its power, and humans are just suddenly tossed to and fro. Remember, I don't know, was it a decade ago or maybe longer, when we had those volcanic eruptions and those tsunamis, right, in the Pacific?
Yeah.
Right? Within a moment of time, hundreds of thousands of humans just were dead.
Right.
Remember, it was just like, and you know what was bizarre about it? Nature never even thought twice about it. Like, it just went on. Like, no, nature didn't stop and mourn over the loss of humanity.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I'm just saying that there's a lot of things we could be fearful of. So what I do is I look at it and go, you know what? The reality of it is most things that could kill me are out of my control.
Right.
So but because of the fact that I am keenly aware that I am a spiritual creature, a son of God.
Yeah. You're faith-filled.
Right. Yes. I don't live my life fearful of all those things. Right. God has my life in his hands. I'm his bondservant. When it's my time, it's my time.
Yep.
But my time is only time on earth.
Right.
It's not time. It's not eternity. Those are,
Right.
It's like Grace was said, the ancients appreciated life and we take it for granted, she wrote.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that's really true. We've talked about this before, but the reason light matters is because there's darkness. The reason goodness matters is because there's evil.
Yeah.
The reason life matters is because there's death. Well, one of the things, as we were talking about, that's happened in our culture is we've anesthetized or distanced ourselves from death, and therefore life has less value. Where you really see this come to the forefront is people who have faced death's door. Either they've had a heart attack where they were gone and came back,
right?
Faced cancer, something like that. Every one of my relationships who have stood face to face with death, like it was imminent, right?
Right.
All now suck the marrow out of life. They appreciate everything that happens. Every day they live grateful for the moment. They're not complaining about what's going to happen in a year from now. They're just glad to be here now.
Yeah.
So one of those things that I think death does is it having that awareness is the fact that it makes you grateful and appreciative, thankful for right now.
Yeah.
For this moment, right? I'm sure you felt like that when you were out, with your kids and your granddaughter, right? It's just like right there in that moment.
Yeah.
You appreciate that because you don't ever know if that's going to happen again.
That's right. I say that every being a ex-military wife, whenever we would leave our families, and go back home, and I wouldn't be very emotional, and it kind of bothered my family members, I think. And the reason I wouldn't be emotional is I was like, well, I hope I see you again, but I can't stay there in that emotion, because if I did, I would be mournful all the time. I had to really kind of like just deal with that and go, and I appreciated the time with, but I wasn't going to focus on the time without. Does that make sense? So,
Yeah, one of the
I
things
kind of,
that I think is a real weakness of our American culture because of our, great prosperity and our technology is I think we live in a world of assumptions.
yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like we wake up every day with these assumptions that this is going to work and that's going to work and this is going to happen. I mean, we make all these plans based on the fact that all these things are going to happen, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like so much of our life is assumption. And the reason is because we have infrastructure and all these things that work. But you get outside of our culture into into another half of the world who lives day to day. Like they don't have any of those guarantees. None of that infrastructure is in place. So I think what happens in our American culture is we sort of get anesthetized. Like we sort of live in, I mean, I don't want this to sound wrong, but it's like we live in Disneyland. It's sort of in some ways fantasy land. Not that it's not real. I'm talking about that comparative to other parts of the world.
Right.
So the trap we fall into is we just are full of assumptions. And then suddenly when something's taken from us,
yes,
there's loss, right?
That's what we went through.
Go, oh my God, that I valued that. I didn't even know I valued that. I just assumed.
Yeah. Like toilet paper.
I just, in some ways, I would never say the pandemic was God. I mean, that, I'm not into that whole thing. But what I am aware of is God will use crisis to teach us. And one of the things that has come out of this pandemic is people have realized how important their relationships are.
Yes.
And only because they've been taken away.
And I think there was a spotlight on consumerism for sure. I mean, and yes, in your relationship, a lot of people's relationships really faltered during that time.
Yeah.
You really understood where you stood with people, right? And when you really understood who was anxiety and fear filled and who wasn't, like there were two different planes of thought in that. There were some of us who were just like, well, we're just going to deal with this every, day to day, let's just handle that. Or there was a person that was fearful and was like, well, what are we going to do? I'm never going to leave the house, I
mean, if you go look at DISC or any of the other personality,
the DISC
out there, you have half the people are extroverts, right? Yeah. And they're always looking for opportunity. And the other half are introverts who are trying to stay out of trouble, right? So your introverts, which are your people that are, a lot of them are thick, right? And so their worldview is, what do I do so bad things don't happen to us, right? So,
where there's us. Those
are some of the most discerning and smart people.
Absolutely.
It's not a good or bad thing. It's just their perspective of things and every I call them the breaks in any organization, right?
Yes.
You have the salespeople and the entrepreneurs, and everything's a business opportunity, right?
Everything's positive. Right? Yes, we can do that.
Then you've got the other half of the equation, which are the accountants, right? And us people, and they're going, yeah, but reality, right? And that's always so. When it played out through the pandemic, I was laughing because it's like, well, what do you think was going to happen? I mean, that happens in every one of our institutional formats. You always have the gas and the brakes, and they both work. When
you have to have that
at high speed and you don't have brakes, you are going to die.
I took a leadership program a while back, and it talked about all the different the different people that you needed in your organization, and you have to have those people because those people help you as long as you listen to them. See, that's the problem, is that some people feel challenged and feel like you're not being positive
Right.
if you're telling perspective of reality and what could go wrong. And nobody wants to hear that. They don't want to hear that. But you have to have those people. So you have to have the idea maker, the implementer, and then those people that are going to go behind the scenes and make it happen in their processes. And those are the people that you really look to, like, okay, is this going to work, kind of thing. And
that's one of the reasons, I mean, if you really want to get into the the psychology or even the depth of why God wants diversity and harmony, is because the reality of it is that none of us in humanity can be the fullness of God. We would be God, right? So he apportions out different aspects of himself.
He does.
All of us.
Yes.
The only way that we win is to humble ourselves, right? And appreciate the diversity and the fact that somebody else has things that I need. So you could look at the gas and the brake as being in conflict, right? Because
you have to have both to run the car. They're
at war with each other, right? One wants to go and one wants to stop. Those are diametric purposes, right?
Absolutely.
Diametric outlooks.
Yes.
Yet the reality of it is, and this is what Solomon figured out, and you wrote in the book of Ecclesiastes, there's a time and a season, right? You go back in the old bird song, time, you know what I mean? They basically, it's all about Ecclesiastes, but there's a time for this. There's a time to live, there's a time to be angry and a time for peace.
Right.
And what's on
Ecclesiastes
mind is God's created this diversity of life, these diametric things, light and dark, good and evil, up and down, all these things. We live in the middle of all that. And the only way you actually can navigate through it healthily is to recognize the fact that you need the brakes or you need the gas.
Yeah.
So people that are introverts go, you know what? I actually need a friend in my life that will pull me out of my shell.
Right. Well, see, AJ, he said he didn't know that they weren't supposed to get out. He didn't get the memo. He's calling the introvert union. And Tom, thanks for joining us. Tom's got a show too. And let's see. Oh, he wants to have us both on his stream programs.
Let's get in our cars, our vehicles, right? And just use the gas.
Well, yeah, you need the brakes.
What would happen if we just use the gas?
You'd run into something eventually.
Crash. We would crash. We would be what? Out of control.
Yeah. I had one of those dreams. You ever had one of those recurring dreams? I had that dream with the gas.
You're a brake and you're always on the brake. What are you doing? You're going nowhere.
Yeah. Well, I had that dream.
Safe spot doing nothing.
So have you ever had one of those recurring dreams? Mine was about the being on the gas and going straight into the ocean.
Oh,
like
really?
I had one of those dreams. My car was flying into the ocean. I wonder what that's about. I didn't put the brakes on stuff. I think that was it's exactly what you're talking about. I think I was going through life at the time with the gas on and never the brakes. And God was trying to show me you're going to crash.
You know what wisdom is, right? What is wisdom? Wisdom is the capacity to take these diametric giftings, perspectives, personality, whatever you want, and recognize when is the time and when is the season. We talk a lot in the Christian community about prophetic, right?
Yes.
But actually, there's another word that fits in this, and it's called prudence.
Prudence, yes.
Right? We think prudence is a woman's name, but actually what prudence is wisdom for the future. Prudence is being forward thinking.
Wisdom is a woman's name. Wisdom is a woman's name.
Which name?
Wisdom is actually a spiritual component. A woman, they called her. Wisdom was called her in the Bible and in the Old Testament. And I love how, and you're friends with the guy that wrote The Shack, correct?
Right.
I love the way he wrote wisdom in there. It was a her, again, because in the Old Testament, wisdom is called a her, which they've I've went in many different studies about that, on why, and
Well,
maybe it was a typo.
wisdom was his companion. That's my take on it. Wisdom is a companion.
Yeah.
Without, you're lost.
Yeah, if you didn't know that, look that up in the Old Testament. It's a really interesting thing. Wisdom has their own chapter, and it's a spiritual component.
Here's the other reality of this, and there's no way you can get around this. But the truth is that age. No, it's true. You cannot circumvent this, but it's age.
Can.
And part of the reason for that is one of the components of wisdom is what? Perspective. And
yes.
And the only way you get perspective is looking in the rear view mirror of life. You can only get perspective looking back, or if you're young, you can sort of accelerate it, but it takes humility, which is we don't have a lot of when we're young.
Yes.
So then you got to go through brokenness, right? So I mean, we got a whole lot of little bunny trails we could go down here, but it takes a certain amount of brokenness to bring a humility that allows you to get perspective so that you can actually realize that life is a whole series of diversities that we have to hold together in some sort of harmony. And that's called balance, right? We hear that all the time in the, in the self-help world. You find balance in your life. Well, what are they really saying? The interesting about that whole world is a lot of it's just a ripoff from the Bible. They just, because it's religious, they don't want to, they want it to not appear like it's religious, but the wisdom is ancient.
Wisdom is ancient, right? That's why I love pointing that out, that it's in the Old Testament. So, yeah. So Tom, thanks for joining us. Great movie and book. He's got to go. Wisdom is calling. Well, all right, go answer it. Go answer wisdom. But wisdom, I just love that study.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're intrigued about what I'm talking about, go look it up in the Bible. It's very, very interesting.
It's the answer to your question about how do fear and discernment.
Huh? Ooh, it all comes around. Ooh.
I'm tying it up for you.
You're tying it up. All right.
It back to the to where you were going with that.
Yes. So I think it's so interesting. I love our coffee chats. I love these talks. They're great. And including our people on here. I really appreciate you all hanging on and on this cold day or warm day.
You just give Brandy a little, because Brandy may have not heard this analogy. She likes the gas and brake, but I'll give you another word picture that'll help you, Brandy.
Uh-huh.
A lot of marriages are like bicycle pedals.
There you go.
And so you have these two pedals that are on opposite ends of the gear, right? And one is on the top. What causes the relationship to move forward is when the person on the top humbles themselves to lift the pedal on the bottom up, because they recognize that we need both pedals.
That's right.
Maybe totally opposite, but we need both. If that dynamic keeps happening in the relationship where we keep humbling ourselves to each other, the pedals go around, the bike goes forward, we stay balanced, right? Yep. And we get somewhere.
There you go.
That humility stops, the pedals don't turn, there's no bike moving forward, and the passenger falls off.
Well, I love that. I love that. Exactly what are those called? Tandem?
And her husband, right? It worked because they recognize, well, we need each other.
That's right. That's right. So it's in tandem bicycling. Yeah. Isn't that what it's called? In tandem?
Well, tandem is when you got two seaters.
Well, right. Don't they have to work together too?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, both of those analogies work.
And I like what AJ said too, intelligence. Yeah. wisdom is knowing that you should not use a sledgehammer to drive finishing nails. That's right. I mean, but you had to learn that somehow, right? You had to make your mistakes first. It seems like it took quite a while to realize that you both need.
You got to hit your fingers with the sledgehammer a few times and then go, ouch.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I mean, you smash other people, but then when you smash yourself, you realize, ouch, So it takes a little pain to get a little gain.
I mean, I think in relationships, especially, in couple relationships, having the two different is good as long as they're not two polar opposites. Sometimes that can be very polar and not work.
Polar, it's just humility is the only thing that holds it together.
Get rid of the pride.
Yeah. If you have a need to be right,
then you're not.
Your relationship is over.
Yes.
I mean, there's just no way to have a relationship with somebody who has the need to be right.
Right. I'm okay with being wrong.
Okay, everybody has that need.
Yeah.
The need to be right is just devastating. I mean, there's a whole thing we could go down that road, but I mean, almost all wars, all genocides, the need to be right's deadly.
Yeah.
Not just
Jeff.
a problem, it's a deadly problem.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But apologizing all the time and being a doormat is not healthy in your relationship either. So you have to have that balance, like you were talking about.
That's not humility.
No.
Think about this. Jesus, Paul, and then I know we got to go because we're getting late here. But Paul had a great example of humility.
Yeah.
This is what it was. And he wrote it in his letter to the church at Ephesus. Though he existed in the form of God, he humbled himself and took on the form of a bondservant.
Yeah.
In other words, it's not that Jesus didn't know who he was. It was the fact he knew exactly who he was, and he made a choice to humble himself.
Right.
What you're talking about is somebody that doesn't know who they are.
Yeah.
Right. So that's not humility.
Yeah. I always find the word bondservant an interesting word.
Well,
when they used it.
But those are all discussions we can have.
we always end up in the deep hole. We always go down the deep hole and we go, oh, well, we'll talk it next time.
Exactly. So it's your job to remind me of what I said we were going to talk about, because I forget.
Bond servants and all that. Okay. Communication are definitely so important. Yes. In relationships. And I don't usually plug my own show, but tonight I'm talking about the Valentine's hangover. Anyway.
Okay.
On my Sash Coach show tonight. So anyway, the that could be anything.
Hearts and.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you, Bob. I always love your perspectives, and thank you all for joining us this morning. We really, really appreciate you guys and your interaction. I mean, that makes the show, it just makes it, because I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know how you're feeling. We want to hear from you. So, and thank you, Bob, always for your wisdom. I appreciate it, because sometimes, I know I just sit over here and laugh a lot, but I get a few zingers out there every once in a while.
Wisdom.
Sometimes on a Thursday. I have more wisdom on a Thursday. Come join us when I have more wisdom.
Okay.
Anyway, all right. You guys take care and do what you can. Stay warm. Don't go out in this. Really? Seriously, don't. All right. Bye, Bob. Stay safe. All right.